Welcome to Unsolved Historical Mysteries. The Viking mystery: did they really reach America? The Vikings. These fierce warriors, skilled sailors, and legendary explorers have left a lasting mark on history. When most people think of the Vikings, images of horned helmets, raiding ships, and conquest come to mind. But there's a lot more to the Viking story than just their raids on European shores. What often gets overlooked is their incredible skill as explorers and pioneers of long-distance travel. One of their most intriguing accomplishments is their potential discovery of North America centuries before any other European explorers even imagined crossing the Atlantic. But who exactly were the Vikings? Hailing from Scandinavia, modern-day Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, these seafaring people thrived from the 8th to 11th centuries. In what we now call the Viking Age, they sailed far and wide, venturing across the North Sea, the Baltic, and into far-off places like Iceland and Greenland. It was their unparalleled navigation skills, combined with their sturdy longships, that allowed them to explore such vast distances, braving the dangerous waters of the North Atlantic. But the most fascinating question remains: did they really make it to North America? Some say yes, citing ancient texts and archaeological evidence, while others remain skeptical. The Viking sagas, ancient tales passed down orally and eventually written down, tell of a Viking explorer named Leif Erikson, who reached a mysterious land called Vinland, described as being fertile and full of natural resources. These stories have intrigued historians for centuries, leading to ongoing debates about whether the Vikings were truly the first Europeans to set foot on the American continent. Today, we'll dive into the evidence, explore the competing theories, and look at the mysteries that still surround the Viking voyages to the New World. So, what evidence do we have that the Vikings made it to North America? The most compelling starting point is found in the Viking sagas, particularly the saga of the Greenlanders and the saga of Eric the Red. These ancient texts recount the voyages of Viking explorers, with Leif Erikson leading a small group of Norsemen to a land they called Vinland, around the year 1000 AD. The sagas describe Vinland as a place with mild weather, compared to Greenland, rich with resources like wild grapes, which is why it was called Vinland, the land of wine. While these stories are fascinating, they weren't enough to convince historians. For centuries, the idea of Vikings in North America remained more legend than fact, due to a lack of concrete evidence. However, that changed in the 1960s, with a groundbreaking discovery in Newfoundland, Canada. Archaeologists discovered the site of Meadows, which turned out to be a Viking settlement. This site, with its unmistakable Viking longhouses, tools, and other artifacts, provided the first solid proof that Norse explorers had indeed made it to North America centuries before Columbus. It's the only known and confirmed Viking settlement in the New World, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site today. But this settlement raises new questions. Was it a temporary camp for exploring the coastline? Or was it part of a larger plan to colonize Vinland? Meadows only tells part of the story. Historians and archaeologists have long debated how far the Vikings ventured beyond Newfoundland. Some evidence, like Norse artifacts found scattered in different parts of North America, suggests they may have traveled further south along the coast, possibly reaching modern-day Maine or even New England. However, none of these finds have been confirmed as permanent Viking settlements, leaving much of the mystery unsolved. Beyond the artifacts, there are other intriguing clues, such as the presence of certain types of wood in Greenland, which don't grow there naturally. These materials suggest that the Vikings may have imported resources from warmer, more forested regions, possibly from Vinland. All of these findings paint a picture of exploration, but the full extent of the Vikings' journey into North America remains a puzzle waiting to be solved. Even though Meadows proves that the Vikings reached North America, there is still much debate about the extent of their exploration. Some historians and archaeologists argue that the Vikings may have explored much further than just Newfoundland. The sagas mention multiple voyages to Vinland, with some stories describing interactions between the Vikings and the indigenous people they called Skrælings. These encounters suggest that the Vikings may have ventured deep into the continent, engaging in trade or even conflicts with Native American groups. One theory posits that the Vikings used Meadows as a base of operations for further expeditions along the eastern coast of North America. Some scholars believe they may have traveled southward into regions that are now part of the United States, as far as modern-day New York or even Florida. There have been occasional claims of Norse artifacts being found in places like Maine or Minnesota, though many of these have been debunked or remain unverified. The Viking sagas themselves add to the mystery. While they provide valuable clues about Viking exploration, these stories were passed down orally for generations before being written down. This means they likely include embellishments or mythological elements. For example, some scholars argue that Vinland may not have been a single, specific location, but rather a larger region that included parts of both Newfoundland and the American mainland. The sagas also mention other lands, such as Markland and Helleland, which are thought to be modern-day Labrador and Baffin Island, respectively. But skeptics caution against reading too much into the sagas without solid archaeological evidence. While the stories of Leif Erikson and Vinland are compelling, the lack of additional Viking settlements beyond Meadows keeps much of the Viking presence in North America speculative. The Viking voyages to North America, whether short-lived or extensive, have left a lasting legacy. Their exploration of the North Atlantic proved that transatlantic travel was possible long before the age of Columbus. Leif Erikson is often hailed as the first European to set foot in North America, and many celebrate this legacy on Leif Erikson Day, recognized every year on October 9th in the United States. This day honors Erikson's achievements as a trailblazing explorer and serves as a reminder of the Viking contributions to world history. In addition to their historical impact, the Vikings' journey to North America has become deeply embedded in popular culture, from films and television series to books and video games. Vikings are often depicted as fearless explorers, navigating treacherous seas to discover new worlds. Although these portrayals sometimes mix myth and reality, they help keep the Viking story alive in modern consciousness. The Viking legacy in North America is not just about their exploration. It's also about their influence on the larger narrative of human curiosity and exploration. Their brief presence in the New World serves as an early example of how societies from different continents could meet, exchange knowledge, and in some cases clash. While the Viking settlements in North America were small and short-lived, their legacy as early pioneers of transatlantic exploration remains strong. The possibility that they ventured even further into the continent fuels our imaginations and keeps the mystery alive. So, did the Vikings really reach America? The evidence from Meadows gives us a definitive yes. The Vikings, led by Leif Erikson, set foot on North American soil around the year 1000 AD, establishing a small settlement in Newfoundland. This alone is a remarkable achievement, proving that the Vikings were the first known Europeans to reach the New World. However, questions remain about how far they traveled and what their true impact was. While there are many theories about Viking exploration along the coast of North America, solid archaeological evidence beyond Newfoundland is still scarce. The sagas, though tantalizing, offer few clear answers, and much of the Viking exploration of North America remains a mystery. Despite the uncertainty, the legacy of the Viking voyages endures. They remind us of the adventurous spirit that drives humanity to explore the unknown. Whether they ventured deep into North America or not, the fact that they crossed the Atlantic and briefly settled in the New World is an incredible chapter in the history of exploration. Perhaps future discoveries will shed more light on the full extent of their travels. But for now, the story of the Vikings in America remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.